Hi, I'm Jeff Cohn. I'm the host of the Team Building Podcast, and we have another amazing guest with us today. Our goal is to interview top team leaders, broker owners, and thought leaders from across North America. And we have Mr. Logan Boyce today, hailing from Montreal, Canada. Super excited to have you on the show. Yes. Logan, what's up, brother?
How are you, man? Thanks for having me.
Hey, absolutely. You deserve to be here. Really excited to chat with you today. Logan is going to be the master of ceremonies at the Team Building Summit, Omaha, Nebraska, May 2021. If you haven't picked up a ticket yet, go out to eliterealestatesystems.com, click on events, jump into our Eventbrite page and grab your ticket for, I think it's $397. We've got a promotion going on right now. We're gonna have an amazing event. And Logan, you're the hype guy. You're going to keep the energy up and keep us excited.
You picked my exact specialty. I'm very, very excited to be able to do this. I spoke at it the last time we were able to do it. COVID shut us down last year. Year before that, I got to speak at it. A lot of fun. But holy wow, it's just like heavy hitters after heavy hitters after heavy hitters on this thing. So, I keep coming back. There's got to be a reason for it, and it's because it's always just jam packed with value.
Well, we appreciate you being a part of it. I know you were a proof of abundance, abundance of proof on stage 2 years ago. And I know that you did an amazing job expressing to everybody in the audience what you have accomplished. And that's what we're going to get into here in a couple of minutes in this interview, is just kind of talk about your journey and what your team looks like today and everything you've done up to this point. Would like to also talk about Montreal and all the challenges with things shutting down. Of course, some of America has experienced the same here in the U.S., where you can't even show houses physically. And I'd love to hear how you've kind of been able to overcome that, and or where you've chosen to put your time and attention when that did hit. But I do want to make sure everyone that is listening knows, in addition to the Team Building Summit, which is the teambuildingsummit.com, or again, you can go out to eliterealestatesystems.com, click on events. We also are hosting an in-person workshop in March, which is very different than the summit. The in-person workshop is going to be a lot of hands-on, working with my entire team, operations, success management, investing. It's going to be a 2-day, all-day workshop at my office, whereas the Team Building Summit's in downtown Omaha. We stay at the Marriott Capital District. It's an event Marriott. Super beautiful time of year to visit Omaha. And like Logan mentioned, lots of heavy hitters. We got Gary Boomershine keynoting, Josh Cunningham. He's the owner of Rockerbox. Gary owns Real Estate Investor. Clint Bartlett, my partner, talking on investing, and a lot of other abundance of proof ERS clients. They're going to talk about scaling their massive teams, one of which grew to over $8 million in net income over the last 5 years. He's going to talk about how he did that. So you want to go out, get your tickets. Would love to see you in March or May at one of those upcoming events. Logan, share with us some of your successes, man. Like, I know we met, 5 years ago. You picked me up at the airport in Montreal. I think I was eating an apple, jumped into the van for a Go Abundance event, and the rest was history. We hit it off.
And I actually thought right off the bat that we were not going to get along, because I was like, oh, Jeff Cohn, he's probably rich, and I'm going to talk to him about some of my aspirations for what I want to buy. So the first thing that came to mind, one of my absolute dreams, was to buy a Tesla. I now own a Tesla. And I was like, yeah, Teslas are pretty cool, right? You're like, those things are lame. They don't make any noise. I want a car that makes noise.
They're electric. Did you know they're electric?
That's exactly it. So I was like, oh, now we're not going to be friends. But no, literally the exact opposite happened. And I stepped into your world. I've been an ERS client since then. Well, I guess it was about a year after that you actually launched it. So It's been since then. I was one of the first rounder guys who was offered it. But yeah, man, it's been a wild ride. And speaking of the Tesla, I remember the day I got it, I sent a video message off to you, thanking you for your guidance and support throughout the years. And it was really a great moment for me. And yeah, I'm superficial, whatever. Go to hell.
No, not at all. For me as well, and it's not superficial to achieve our dreams. And obviously people have monetary things that are on their dream board. All of us do. People have things that are family related, spiritual, physical. And I do remember a conversation around a Tesla, and it's what buying something like that represents. Right?
Yeah.
What you're able to do now, of course, it's better for the environment. And you're in a position now of leadership where you get to create impact and influence for the people in your world. So take us through that journey over the last 5 years of going from wanting to buy a Tesla and picking me up at going to that event. And I know you were an aspiring team leader, and now you're a very accomplished and successful team leader.
Yep. So when I met you, I had my buddy who was from Toronto, and we knew we wanted to build a real estate team. And he wasn't even licensed at the time. Now he's my top sales guy on my team. And so we just started, we went to your event in Ottawa. We took rigorous notes, and we made mistake after mistake. The number one mistake was we tried to implement absolutely everything all at once, because we're like, we could do this. This is easy, whatever. We could do this. Not a big deal. Little did we know it's a little more complicated than that. So, but after trial and error and huge mistakes along the way of hiring the wrong people, not getting rid of the right people at the right time, and not focusing enough on recruiting meetings on a daily basis or a weekly basis, and all those different hurdles, and getting past that 100 transaction echelon, and then getting past the 200 transaction echelon. All of these things take time. It's not an overnight thing. I know it can be for some people. It wasn't for us. And I have an amazing team with me right now, and I got to give massive shout outs to John Ehrlich on the team as my operations manager, and Alex Marchand as my head of administration, because I'm absolutely nothing without those people.
How many agents are you at right now?
We have 16 agents right now. We're just about to go into a new office space. We just actually, I think we probably signed leases at around the same time, except our construction workers take longer than yours, I guess. But we should be in by the end of this month, which should be a lot of fun. We have about 5,000 square feet, a little under 5,000, I think, 45, cool. Something like that. Should be awesome. Very, very excited. It's all going to be state of the art. We're going to have ancillary services in it as well. Our mortgage, our notary, all that stuff, and just create a really nice vibe for everybody there. So I'm excited about that. But
one of the biggest failures you guys had was trying to implement everything, and we see that a lot. We try to keep things pretty simple.
Yep.
My keynote 2 years ago was culture, lead generation, lead conversion, accountability systems, and strategies. There's lots to unpack inside of each of those major topics. What else would you say for those listening that aren't at the 100 a year, 200 a year, and so on? What would you say as far as a suggestion to them in terms of not overdoing it? Like, what are some of the other failing points where you had a hard time getting past certain hurdles?
The first one that comes to mind is kind of like both. I don't think if I were to go back in time, I would change it, but it was something that maybe if I were to go back in time, I would tell myself, hey, be more prepared for this. Was I left production quite early. And I wouldn't change that, because I have a very firm belief that I don't want to be in competition with my agents. I don't like that as a look. And there's some agencies in my market where the owner does still actively sell, and actively.
That's in most markets, I think, across America. And team leaders, I think 99% of team leaders actively compete directly against their own agents.
I just think that's a recipe for disaster, and it's a recipe for people to think that there's favoritism coming in with the leads, or from people walking into your office and all that fun stuff. So just be prepared for that when you do step out of production. Is have a game plan. And in terms of what to implement first, and you just have to have a coach. You have to have that weekly meeting with your person from ERS. So I was lucky enough, I was in early enough where I got Andy.
Oh, wow.
I was on the phone every week with Andy, talking his bloody ear off. And he's like trying to get off the phone because he's got the next guy. And I'm like, no, just one more thing. It was a lot of fun. And just making sure you say, okay, I implemented X, Y, and Z this week. Do I move on to the next thing, or do I monitor this for another week before moving on to the next implementation? Mm-hmm. And having a coach guide you through this is really a lot of fun. And now I get to do the same thing for other people on ERS. I've got 3 or 4 guys calling me tomorrow, and we're gonna find out where they're at based on the last time I talked to them, and make sure that they're staying the course.
Well, and I think that's key. One of our number one goals when we launched ERS back in 2017, when you mentioned you were in the beta, it wasn't even our intent to offer group coaching. We were just doing workshops, and all these people were wanting to visit Omaha because we went from 70 to 425 sides in 3 years. And then in the next 3 years, we got up to over 700 sides, fastest growing team, 70 to 700 sides in 6 years. And all these people wanted to see how we did it. So we're like, yeah, come out to Omaha. And then we built a workshop around it. And then we built a coaching company around that. And to your point, giving our coaching clients a step-by-step process of what to implement, and in the right order and in the right way. That included checks and balances to help people when they were falling, to provide them with the intellectual property, with the systems, all the tools to be able to implement. And so our coaching platform is every Thursday, as you already know, we offer team leader coaching every Thursday from 11:15 Central to 12:15 p.m. Central. The first 30 minutes is topical. The second 30 minutes is questions and answers with me on the first Thursday of each month and Andy Cuny on the following 3 Thursdays. We just released investor coaching January 2021 every Tuesday at 11:15 Central. 30 minutes topical, 30 minutes Q&A with my investment partner, Clint Bartlett. And he and I together in the last 2 years have built a $10 million plus investment portfolio totaling almost 100 doors. And so he talks about all the strategies we implemented there as well. So for anyone aspiring to build a team, wanting to scale a team, take things to the next level, and you feel like you just need a little bit more support, it's a month-to-month contract. You can cancel anytime. It's all live and or recorded. You can go in and watch all the recordings, or you can attend live, or both. And we also offer the Monday, Wednesday agent training for free as part of the program when you sign up for the Team Leader product. So there's a little cute commercial that you can go watch on our website. Go to eliterealestatesystems.com. Go click on Learn More. And then also, if you have any questions and want to set up a demo call, you can go to ersdemocall.com. Logan, this has been a great interview. I wanted to try to keep this one pretty short, but I'm sure you have 1 or 2 more things you want to share with the audience. I'd also like to make sure you share with everyone how to get in touch with you if they have referrals or if they want to follow up with any questions.
Yeah. You know what? The last thing I'll leave is actually something Warren Buffett says, and he says, don't rely on one source of income. So you had alluded at the beginning of this call, like, what do you do during a pandemic? And it's you find other sources of revenue. And if you do it right, it doesn't stop when you go back to work. It continues. And now you've built something bigger than what you had before. So I think everybody can kind of go into their mind and figure out, okay, how do I create another stream of revenue? How do I make it as passive as possible? And don't just focus on something that requires no work. You're a badass. Do a little bit more work and make exponentially more money. Figure it out. So that's the last thing I'll leave it with. Anybody wants to get in touch with me, I'm super easy to find. I'm Logan James Boyce on Instagram. I'm Logan Boyce on Facebook. I'm not hard to get in touch with, or you can go to eliterealestategroup.com.
Dang. I like the URL. How'd you get the .com on that one?
I don't know. I bought it from somebody. I think I'm going to resell it to somebody. I'm not sure who though.
Oh, there you go. So offering it. Anyone out there that wants to buy. Awesome, Logan. We'll really appreciate it. Really hoping they're going to lift some of those restrictions so that we can see you at the event. Of course, coming across the border of Canada to the US, they create some challenges, I think, for you guys going back. So hopefully that changes here in the next couple of months and we get to see you.
Fingers crossed. Yep.
Crossed. Appreciate you coming on today. You did an awesome job. We'll definitely have you on again in the future.